High off the shrooms, high on the moon, flyers or goons, flying with Oshun. Leprechauns, yeah, we chasing these coins. Mad Sweeney in a Lamborghini. We conversating with the universe. Yeah, I'm Funiverse. The spirit of Shango, the great trickster. The blood of the Congo.
Greetings. I'm just letting y'all come in the building, playing a little bit of that intro music. Getting that deluxe ready. I just wanted to have a little build today. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the news. And we just did a lecture on Thursday. Salute to everybody that was in the building for Fear of a Blackamoor Messiah. Y'all was definitely, y'all were in for a treat, and y'all got y'all got a lot of information. And that was a good, it was a release for me, because whenever you do a lecture, you're letting off information that you're holding in. And in days and times like this, holding in information could almost become life or death, because we are officially in war times and whatnot. And I could get into that a little bit later. But, the title of this conversation is When in Rome. So we are at war with Rome, and we've been at war for a very long time. But at this point in day and time, it has become very intense. You understand? So when you're in a state of warfare, it's just certain things that you're going to be able to see things in a certain light, as compared to when people see things in the light that they see it in the state that they're seeing it in, because they're walking around not feeling at all that they're at war. You can't convince anyone that they're in they're in what is known as Nova Roma, and they're at war. So holding on to information in times like this is detrimental. Why is that? Because there's censorship on the internet at such a high rate right now that it's almost, it's hard to describe. When you see a clone page of mine, or you see a clone page of anybody that's influencers on the internet, where if you were to try to send me a message, there's 8 other pages that you got to choose from, and you have to remember in your mind which one is his official page and whatnot. Or if somebody is sending you a friend request or a message, all of that is a pushback. That's all, those bots and things of that nature. A lot of that is government. If you know what I mean? A lot of that has a lot to do with the way that they're pushing back. Because there's a cyber war going on, and the cyber war that's going on is a war that the quote unquote platforms, in alignment with the alphabet people, the CIA and whatnot, in alignment with other agencies, they got budgets. They got billion-dollar budgets to do what? To disrupt the disruptors that are on the internet, to disrupt the influencers that are on the internet, to disrupt the people who are putting out the information. And they have these whole new set of trolls that will come through and, disrupt your thread, disrupt your conversations, interject negativity in your lives, things like that. Trolls. Paid trolls, though. These are government. Some of these are working for the government. Some of them are working for themselves. Some of them working for, the Troll Academy. You dig what I'm saying? But there is a concerted effort and a pushback. The place that always comes to Every time I do the research on any of these operations, on any of these companies, like these bot companies, on any of these places where where the malware comes from, it always goes back to the same place. The place that I'm talking about, it rhymes with Hell Aziz. It's called Tel Aviv, right? You got to watch out what you're even saying on these people's platform, because this is their platform, right? But it always leads back to Israel for some strange reason. You know what I'm talking about? Everything that we're dealing with, when you think about the record industry that we're at odds with, because we know that this industry is a machine, and we know that this machine, it's a deliberate machine. The record industry is a machine that works for a specific purpose and not any other purpose. It is a machine that's designed in such a way, intricately, with billions of dollars invested, that they make sure that there's an image, there's a message, there's a slew of messages, meaning that there's thousands and hundreds of people and artists saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. Their money, their investment. You know how you're investing in a company, in a round, how you might seed a company by investing in it in its earlier rounds. Well, these companies and these quote unquote labels, and these labels are now connected to endorsements from other quote unquote companies that have budgets and whatnot, and they all work together in tandem to do what? To fill the coffers of artists that they signed, whose job and whose purpose is to continue to put us in a state of confusion and continue to put us in a state of mind where we are in Rome doing as Romans do. That is what they're paying these people to do. I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. This is a Roman operation. These people who are operating are Roman in their nature. When we fight against certain lifestyles, when we fight against certain mind states, when we fight against certain people, keep in mind, we fighting against Babylon. We're fighting against what you niggas know as Rome. If y'all out there on your roster shit, on your Nyambingi shit, you should know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you know if y'all if the mission is still being held up. But this is fighting back against Rome as a Carthaginian, moving through Rome as a Carthaginian, not bending to the ways of Rome, because it's very Romanistic in its nature. You dig what I'm saying? And I would identify the new Rome as over there. Those are the Romans. You know what I'm talking about? The lifestyle when you match up the lifestyle of not just those people, but a lot of other people, you'll see what I'm talking about. When we push back against things that we identify as not natural, right? What we're saying spiritually, what we're saying scientifically, what we're saying culturally is that, look, fam, I don't mean to hurt you niggas. I don't mean to upset anybody. You know what I'm talking about? This ain't about Jerome, nigga. This is about Rome. This is not about Jerome. This is about Rome. Black people put themselves in the way of when we get in at Rome and Babylon and the shit that we were taught by all of our master teachers, the telltale signs of what Babylon is and what not to deal with, because Babylon is an anti-nature. Babylon is anti-life. Babylon is everything opposite of what it is that we were striving for and what we put our lives on the line for, and what other master teachers, elders and whatnot, and great ones have put their lives on the line for, and that was to make it to the paradise. That was to make it to where things are operating in what's known as a natural cycle, right? You don't have to force anything, okay? You don't have to force anything. So when we look at what Rome represented from times of law, there was always a group of people, right? There was always a contingency of some very evil people who lived an unnatural lifestyle. You understand? Who lived a lifestyle in secrecy. You understand? Who lived a lifestyle in the shadows and whatnot. These shadow organizations, these quote unquote these fraternal orders, why is it of any coincidence that every single one of them have been rumored to deal with alternative, in the shadow, unnatural lifestyle, right? That was the whole thing that we was identifying them with from back in the days. We were like, look, we can identify who these people are who are working on the other side because of their lifestyles. So now y'all are coming around telling me that this lifestyle is something that I'm supposed to celebrate. That's not what we about. That's not the mission. That's not what we've been on. What we've been on is identifying what the fuck Rome looks like, what it tastes like, and what it smells like. And the simple fact that Jerome is in Rome now, you can't hold that over my head. I'm still going to speak the facts. I'm still going to identify Rome. You niggas could be dressed in your Roman designer. You niggas could be, you could be all Romaned out, right? You could be living this Roman dream and whatnot in Rome because because remember, Rome was not a color. Rome was cosmopolitan. There was black Romans, brown Romans, beige Romans, white Romans. That whole thing about white didn't even exist in those times like that. People were amalgamated. There was a lot of admixture. There was a lot of people that were different shades of everything, but they were Romans. So don't always get caught up on a Roman. When you hear about Rome, you just think white man. That's how they painted it later on when they switched the shit up. Don't be confused. Go and do the research on Saint Maurice, the patron saint. He's blue-black. The Legion of Thebes and whatnot. It's proven throughout time. The Romans are of multiple ethnicities. It's a lifestyle. America, Paris, Nova Roma, what is called New Rome. You got to do your research. And we're identifying that this shit is Rome. Look at the Senate. Look at the politics. Look at the lifestyle. And Rome always fell. Why did it fall? Why, don't get mad at me. But there was always something about Rome that they identified that there was a decline in the empire. What was it? You know what I mean? What was it? You tell me. We could play call and response. So when you see these niggas, this melanated acting Roman, you can't be surprised. They've been Roman. But what we trying to say is this: we're Roman through Rome, but we're not in Rome. Understand this: we're Roman through Rome, but we're not in Rome. I'm more Carthaginian than I'm Roman. I probably ate some Roman noodles throughout my lifetime. You're in Rome. But Babylon, the shit that these people are dealing with, Babylon, where there's a machine at work. This machine that's at work is about pushing a certain type of confusion. This machine that's at work has dominated empires in the name of whatever that machine and that system represents. But we know men not like that system. That system has eaten up islands. That system is a very anti-life system. You understand? It just so happens that people are identifying the sexual proclivities of that system, and then y'all identifying with that. I'm just talking about the whole system. I'm talking about the mind state that comes with the system. There's an egregor that's attached to that system. Understand what you know what I'm saying? There's an egregor that's attached to that system. There's an egregor attached to plane and feces. You understand? There's an egregor attached to that. Natural means whatever you do, you could do it naturally and you'll be able to be okay. And everything is all right and life will function the way it's set up to be. That's how I'm moving. I don't know. I can't prescribe to confusion. You understand? I just can't do it. I just can't do it. That's Babylon. That's what the Rastas and the Nyabingi allegedly supposed to fire bun. That type of confusion. And they kept the torch lit. But Babylon is telling you to take the candy. Babylon is lining you up with something that's been proven was planned and whatnot. And it was all planned and it was all lined up. It's a great reset. They snatching up real estate. They snatching up property. They snatching up acreage and land and all kind of shit. You know what I mean? Their jukes is going fully down. They're doing it in phases. They're body snatching. They done went and snatched up people's. You understand? In your face. They done snatched up people's. And this thing that they got going on and whatnot is pointing back to them. Nobody's hands are clean. So they out here drilling and whatnot. And then they're bankrolling the drillers to continue to do what? Have a civil war in our neighborhoods. You know what I mean? In our quote unquote, because it's not even our neighborhoods no more. We on the internet. Every day I wake up, somebody is on a RIP. Every day that I wake up, somebody on a t-shirt on my timeline. You understand? And I don't live in your cities, but I see it I see it on my timeline. So the scroll, right? The timeline, the variant, the shit that you're observing and whatnot through social media, right? Social media being owned by these people from Tel Aviv. You understand? Neuroscientists. That's what they are. Neuroscientists, amongst other things. Engineers, it's a collective. And they have built certain platforms. These platforms are data mining, conglomerates, $1 trillion. They call it FANG. Facebook, Apple, Facebook, Apple, Google, Netflix. But the big four, the four horsemen, right? They all they check in back to what I'm talking about. They tap into Rome. I promise you. They pledge allegiance. That's where the allegiance is pled. That's where the allegiance is pled. Right? I'm just saying we have to look at these things and be like, damn, that's kind of coincidental. But anyway, these platforms have been developed and built to where they collect data, but they're also being able to shape realities because of the algorithm and also because of the censorship, the shadow banning, and all kind of shit. You know what I mean? These people they're not just sleeping behind the wheel. So you saw what they did when they were able to manipulate voters with the Cambridge Analytica with Donald Trump election, and they've done other things to show you the power of what they've mastered when it comes to this algorithm, where they can have you existing in a whole in a bubble, in a reality, in an echo chamber, in a bubble. Remember, the NBA niggas was in a bubble, so they've been putting a lot of our people into bubbles. They're giving you all of the trauma porn. They're giving you all of the all of the lower level shit. They're feeding you all of this information. You might have 100,000 followers. You may be following 100,000 people. You're only gonna see 1,000 of them. The $1 million question is, who are those thousands, and how, and who's picking and who's deciding that those are the 1,000 people that you're gonna see every day on your timeline? But it doesn't matter what, as much as they even shadow ban me, I still see all of the carnage on my timeline. I've been on social media for more than 20 years. I don't remember waking up every day and there was a RIP on the social media. I've been in MySpace, from MySpace days all the way up to now. I don't recall seeing all of that. This shit has been ramped up. And the war that's going on outside is being bankrolled by sponsors. The same sponsors that flew the rainbow flag on in June. The majority of them, a lot of them, put their chips and their sponsorship behind things that are considered to be counterproductive and dysfunctional in our culture, right? And we can't really recall when they put their money behind some shit that was functional in our culture. How many of them have said, yo, we're going to follow Nipsey Hussle's lead and we're going to donate 20 million for smart stores, coding, right? We're going to put 20 million towards what he was dealing with and what he was about, building out your own blockchains, building out your own quote unquote technology and your intellect. They don't talk about that. Nike and these people ain't giving up. They not giving up. They not signing people. They not signing scientists. You know what I mean? They're not endorsing or sponsoring black scientists, black coders, black makers, black creators. They're getting behind athletes, drill rappers, gangster rappers, prostitutes, drug dealers, trappers, and whatnot. You know what I mean? Gang bangers, they love them. You dig what I'm saying? And a few other wayward characters who they know will never be held accountable for taking that money and going right to the Cadillac dealer in motherfucking Icebox. You understand? So they understand that cycle of money is coming right back to them. They didn't invest in Bitcoin with none of these square head ass niggas over the years. All of these people that's riding on Rome's lap. Why you niggas don't have 1 million Bitcoins? Why you don't have parabolic wallets? You know what I'm talking about? With your financial planning, who happens to be from Tel Aviv and they knew what was going on. Why you niggas is not swimming in crypto like Scrooge McDuck? Cause they was putting your money into a whole bunch of other things that you niggas wasn't really getting nothing off of. Now Nas and a few others took it upon themselves to self-educate themselves and not leave it up to the people who've been robbing our people forever, taking their money and they're buying crypto and getting rich off of it. They're funding all things Tel Aviv and and everybody that they deal with. And at the hierarchy of that pyramid of the pyramid that they're on stands is the same people that's behind Planned Parenthood. It's the same people who's at the hierarchy of that organization that deals with, with Roman domination, and the Romans weaponized sex through, domination, right? Through what they call sodomy, Sodom and Gomorrah. You understand? That's what they did. So that's what we saying. That's their calling card. So which one of these corporations, who is Black Lives Matter, right? And then they so proud in June and whatnot, but J. Cole told you proud as the devil, right? They so proud. Which one of them have gotten behind any initiative, anything? I'm talking about, because everything is visible. We got to be able to see it. You know what I mean? We got to see the impact of it. It has to be something that shakes the culture, right? When and where? Niggas will put out a Netflix documentary and that's it. You know? Niggas will put out a doc and we be like, oh, they lit. You know what I mean? Niggas will have a fucking summer camp and we're like, ah, man, look at NFL taking care of our people. Right? And these organizations that come and rob us, who do they pledge allegiance to? Rome. Right? BLM. They pledge allegiance to Rome. Y'all niggas just keep throwing out George Soros. Put it in its proper context. Stop giving me individual names. I don't even want to hear about the fraternal orders no more. It's just Rome, nigga. It's a collective of them. They moving very Roman-like. Very Babylonian. You understand? Very demonic-like. It's demonic, bro. Fuck is you talking about? It's the shit that Heru was against with Set. Remember in the Heru story, how does Set shame him in a homosexual act? That shit was that was, you know what I mean? That was Star for Law, all the way back in the Heru days. Must I remind you niggas? So, get your mind right, bro. Fuck out of here. Get your mind right. You niggas better pull yourself up from your bootstrap and stop playing games. You're in Rome. Stop acting Roman. You know what I mean? Just stop acting Roman. It looks real goofy on you niggas. That's not you. You know what I mean? That ain't you, or maybe it is. You know what I mean? Maybe it is, but it ain't me. I'd rather stay on my Hannibal Barker shit. You feel me? There's no desire to be Roman. And that's the boat you niggas are on. You could try to paint your nails any color you want to and switch it up any way that you want. It's all Roman in its nature. That's what I'm saying. That's who you gonna meet at them parties. Nigga, at Buck, you gonna meet them Romans. Them people in them white sheets was Romans. Who was hanging out people's strange fruit? Nigga, those are Romans. Go and look at the genealogy of the people that were hanging out of the background, because you call them white, but you got to identify where they're from. Are they Roman? Are they German? But the German is the Roman too. Are they, what are they? Are they Irish? Are they fucking Franks? Nigga, do your research. Those was Romans. Them people that put them hoods on, those is Roman. Them people that been riding on our people, those is Roman. Them niggas that you meeting on Tinder when you swipe to the right, your snow daddy, niggas, 9 times out of 10, that's a Roman. And they just keep masking it with these other they come up with organizations like niggas come up with LLCs during the PPP loans. You know, they just giving you all of these different alphabets. It's always 3 words. It's Roman, nigga. Either it's Roman or it's Carthaginian. You could play with it if you want. You could go and spend the night in Rome Airbnb. You do that. We're gonna stay over here. Niggas want it. We want our castles back. They're not telling you the truth. They out here lying to niggas. They're dumbing you down. You know what I'm talking about? They're throwing trinkets at you. They filling you niggas up with the juice. They're lying to you. If they lied to you about that, then nigga, they might as well drilled you. They might as well spun the block on you. They might as well spun the block on you. It's a wrap. And you're gonna put your trust over there? Okay. Well, guess what? You know what I mean? Y'all leave y'all email in my inbox because I won't, I'm not, off the grid. And I'm not and I'm not talking about Brother Love's album either, nigga. Off the grid. Tell Tank and Dozer to stay by the phone. I'm coming home. You dig? I'm not playing around with these. Look, this shit is about to go topsy-turvy. You know what I mean? It can't get more crazy than how it's getting in these streets, man, before they ring the alarm. You know? The South is where we will rise. Them niggas down south is Roman right now. What are you talking about? They have a heavy Roman presence in the South. From what I see. You know? They got a heavy presence. It's Roman in a lot of places. Remember, go and look at the exotic maps of the USA. Some will say that this was Rome right here. We ain't have to go too far. Niggas is home. They say that I've been in many zones. This is Rome. You know? Could we identify with a Roman Catholic Church, with a Babylonian, quote, empire, with Babylon, with all of these other because they had many different tentacles of the empire, right? Just show me where the influence is not basically, controlling society, where there's like a humongous spell. Don't give me the individuals who may have figured shit out and are able to move around. Just show me where it's at that the tentacles have not touched. Let me know. So I'm just moving with that type of energy. I don't trust a lot of people. I see niggas Roman intentions. Niggas are really Roman Polanskis. You know what I mean? Niggas be on a Roman Polanski. It's a lot of weirdos out here. You feel me? Niggas is really on a Roman Polanski. You know what I mean? Niggas act, they act Carthaginian, when the sun is out, and they turn into Romans at night. They turn into Romans at night. It's niggas in this community that's out here wilding, acting very Roman. Niggas looking possessed, stressed and depressed, hard pressed, not blessed. It's just crazy, bro. And they running around in Roman attire. But they Roman Polanski. You know what I'm talking about? So, the censorship, telling black men what they can and can't say, that has to be dealt with. The shit that black men are saying out of their mouth that don't make no sense, that has to be dealt with. The fact that black men don't know how to intellectually defend themselves and play chess, that has to be dealt with. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that got to be dealt with. There's a whole shift taking place. Look at the streets and whatnot. Pay attention to like the hip hop shit. These niggas are having the OGs are stepping up, having open air arguments about niggas being Roman and not falling into the trap of, you know what I mean, of you niggas touching your toes and giving up what's most sacred, and that's your manhood. You dig what I'm saying? And that's something that you stand on. The fuck? Too many people died for that. You know, all of my heroes, they were not perfect, but they were stand up individuals. No, not to say that nobody ever fell down, but it's not about falling down. It's about standing up, getting back up, my niggas. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Everybody falls. All of the giants have fell. How the hell do you know when you made it to the top if you have no reference point? You gotta hit rock bottom in order to hit the top. You need a reference point. You know what I'm talking about? You need something to compare your fucking ascension to. So you should look towards the fall. You know where you are in your hero's journey. This is the hero's journey through Rome. You are living a lifelong Carthaginian, Osirian, Heruvian tale. And Carthage and Rome is just the same empires that you would see with Heru and Set. It's different names. You dig what I'm saying? It's different names, and you can identify it, but however you want, nigga. You know what I mean? Whatever your interpretation is, but it's just a duality of things, and our quest to be in the middle of it and not be on either side. The Moorish Empire holds the history of the Moorish Empire. I'm not proselytizing to none of you niggas because I don't have to. The history, though, the hidden history, which is the mystery, that holds a lot of keys. It holds humongous amounts of keys to what's going on, why it's going on, where it's going on. We covered it last week in the lecture I did, Fear of a Black and More Messiah, and we covered it the week before with me and Blue Pill. Emancipation ain't freedom, and the evolution will be digitized. I'm not sitting back on my hands. I'm working because, like I said, the information is going to help people because this shit that we're in right now is about decisions, nigga. And you're going to live with your decisions for the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. The decisions that you make in 2020 and 2021. After March 13th, when they made the declaration and they called the national emergency about the COVID, that was the beginning of, that was almost like when 9/11 hit, and it was like, it went from zero day forward. Right? Ground zero, right? It went from 0 day, that was 0 year, and then it went on. This is a new era. This is a new epoch. This is a new age, but it also shifts with the Aquarian age. It also shifts with the Great Conjunction. So we just basically ended a chapter and started a new one. We ended a chapter, we started a new one. A bookend to a great cycle, a great time, a great epoch and whatnot. Now we're on to something new. This new shit that we're on has a lot of quote unquote, the new season start and the shit is already popping. There's a quote unquote imaginary or invisible entity or enemy or plague or spirit that's out here doing what it does, or biological weapon, right? A man-made thingamajigger, right? It's out here affecting people, and we are at war. The war has mutated and evolved into an information war, an intellectual war, a spiritual war, a financial war. That's what it's evolved and it's mutated into a social. We're in a culture war. What's the culture war? The culture war is the shit with the baby and the LBGT community. That's the culture war. Right? What do you mean, right? What I mean is he and other people at Lollapalooza and at Rolling Loud, it's clear that they could say anything about anybody that looks like them. But the other Roman shit, if you mention anything that the people identify as Roman, they have the power and the prestige and the machine to basically publicly lynch you or hang you or flog you, right? Or delete you. What they call is cancel right now. We're in the Matrix. And the Matrix canceling would be unplugging the person. Axe Tank and Dozer. Right? Axe Tank and Dozer. That's in the Game of Thrones. What was the name of the priesthood that the queen was underneath, and they were judging everybody and they were canceling everybody and they were holding everybody to a certain type of standard? and they were becoming very politically correct. If anybody remembers, what's the name of the priesthood in Game of Thrones? That the queen, the blonde hair, what's her name? Cersei, she was with them. And then she wound up destroying them because they were becoming too powerful in their quote unquote soft inquisition, right? Their soft type of inquisition where it turned from them being very, it started out the high council, it started out with some minimum shit. Then it didn't ranked up, right? So be very mindful about the culture war and the impact of with the culture war. There's a war of ideas and concept, right? Yes, the High Council. Go back and look at what they were showing you in the Game of Thrones with the High Council, and then match that up with cancel culture and tell me that you're not seeing that's Me Too. That has something that was partly Me Too in a sense, but that was really what you see with cancel culture, right? Go and see. Because that's what they were canceling people. They had the whole kingdom shook, you know? So the culture war is there's a model, there's an archetype of what they call hip hop, right? That's outdated. It's already frictioned and it's already rubbing up against this new iteration of hip hop. The old version of hip hop is going to be represented by the baby and the people that are defending him, right? T.I., Boozy, and I think somebody else, right? What the culture war is pointing out is that archetype, right? That quote unquote prototype, that shit dead. The new prototype is Young Thug, Little Uzi Vert, and a few other people who they're gonna be like, that's the new model, right? Yeah, Tory Lanez, he's out of here, right? The quote unquote gangster rapper. I watched Beanie Siegel's interview on Drink Champs. That's a must see for everybody. You gotta see that. Oh, yeah, Little Nas X on the other side. Little Nas X, right? Little Pump. I'm just throwing that in there. Takashi, right? Uzi Vert, right? Just by default, right? And Young Thug, right? The big snake, the big homie for them, you know? So there's a clear divide taking place now. There's a changing of the guard. No, you shaved alive. Yeah, so the Beanie Siegel interview. Beanie Siegel is the last of a dying breed. Beanie Siegel backed out on Liar Cohen. That blew my mind. Beanie Siegel showed you in those days, niggas was really on a whole nother mind state. Why did not Jay-Z or Dame Dash tell him who his boss was? Right? He said he backed out on Liar Cohen because he didn't know who he was. Because Liar Cohen was questioning him about his album. I'm like, fam, you understand when Jay-Z left with Liar was like, yo, that shit right there is not what's going into the next phase of what Beanie Siegel is the archetype of that sacrifice. Right? Yes, Jay sold out. When Beanie Siegel described the fact that he left him in jail when he said that what he said to that he told the judge that he's not going to be responsible for him when this is supposed to be Ralock Familiar, when that's everything that he was talking about in his rhymes, where that's where most of his quote unquote his points come from. His fucking reputation is built on him keeping it solid and getting niggas from behind the wall by any means necessary. And he left the nigga behind the walls, and now I would even say that his failure in his health had a lot to do with the depression and the breakdown of his body from that moment that when Jay said that to him, because that's what my spirit told me. I'm like, that's when he went sick. That's when he got diseased. Do you know what it feels like for a nigga to leave you in the belly? And I'm not talking about the Hype Williams movie. Do you know what it feels like to be left in the belly? Jay-Z left him in the belly and then cut him off and wouldn't fuck with him ever again. Didn't even call him. When he came home, he was like, I was trying to get in touch with him. I was going through everybody, and the nigga still didn't give me the big homie call. He told him, die on that hill. Right? And son is on a cross right now. It will almost seem like some of these artists, the energy of the music that they put out, the because you know Beans is a beast. Beans is one of the illest lyricists, right? But that movie State Property and a few and some and the energy, he explained the energy that he was on. He was on lean, right? Jay was like, I can't bring the niggas on lean. I can't bring the Dipset with me. I can't bring the gang with me. I can't bring Beanie with me. I can't bring none of these dysfunctional straight property niggas with me. I'm taking Kanye and I'm leaving with Leor and I'm out. And I'm getting to this bag. I got Beyonce backing me up. She's gonna be on. She's Team Jay-Z. I'm cutting Dame off. I'm leaving them niggas to go and let Jim Jones and them run the label if you want to. Right? And now he's back with Ye. Right? After a short stint of cutting that little of hit, you know, he'll cut you off. He's the big homie. He'll you know, that's how big homies do. They freeze niggas. You know, understand that. They have to put you on timeout. It just happens like that. But I don't approve of the whole aspect of him being in the courts. That's completely star for law because, you know, it's mandated that you get everybody but from behind the wall. That's enemy lines. You can't leave a nigga behind the wall because you could get clipped behind the wall. There's so much things that can happen behind the wall. Life goes by. You got family to feed. You know what I mean? So, but sometimes your life gets saved when you stay behind the wall. I seen too many people bail out and get they shit pushed back. So that archetype, that gangster image, it's an archetype, that gangster profile, right? A lot of the gangsters, they've softened up from our era. They softened, they doing podcasts, niggas is chilling, you know, they want to be citizens and whatnot, regardless of what they might be into. Still publicly, their public face and the public facade is they're like, yo, I'm turned down, you know what I mean? I ain't really with the shits. But the niggas that's out here drilling, the young ones who we fed these niggas, these are our gremlins. Where's the pack? These are, you know, these are our gremlins. These little niggas in the streets, you know, Bobby Shmurda, he came up. He was influenced. None of these niggas come from nowhere. They was influenced by Dipset. They was influenced by Styles P, Jada, and the Locks. I was influenced by them. They had me out here living my illest nigga dream. I was living my illest nigga dream, listening to these niggas. They was my coaches. Shout out to Rain. They was coaching me through the motherfucking through the matrix, through the jungle. Nigga, they was giving me my marching orders. And I appreciate the OGs for that. And the fact that they've leveled up, and the fact that they've wisened up, and the fact that they still are active and whatnot. Nigga, that only verifies what we always knew. You know what I'm talking about? That we the shit. You know. So there was always this Roman element in the city. There was always threatening to quote unquote, you know, swallow niggas and do what people, you know, because don't nobody want to see their hero turn into a their hero turn into a sandwich. Right? Nobody wants to see their hero turn into a sandwich. So if we believed in you, if you was that nigga to us, then you needed to remain that nigga. And there was always rumors in New York that these niggas are not those niggas. You know what I'm talking about? And these niggas was really secretly living in a secret society, right? Doing secretive shit, right? And being around Romans, acting Roman. How about that? So that's what we're identifying. We're like, yo, you niggas is too close to the Romans for us. We don't trust you. We're on some Carthaginian shit. You know what I mean? We're crypto Carthaginians. These niggas are crypto, they're crypto Romans. On the facade, oh, we're Christian, you know what I mean? Ah, da, 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 we're Republican, we're Democrat. They're crypto Romans. Behind closed doors, they're fucking Romans. I don't care what fraternity it is. I don't care what secret society it is. It don't matter. I don't care what government it is. I don't care none of that. Behind closed door, they're crypto Romans. You know what I'm talking about? And I know where their headquarters is, and I know where their empire is. And in New York is one of the outposts. And then there's some other shit across the pond. And there's some other shit. And then it goes right to the Vatican, Babylon. So miss me with the bullshit. These niggas is out here playing games with your life. These niggas are playing with their own lives and whatnot. And I'm never gonna sit back and just be quiet and not say, nigga, get your mind right. Fuck is you talking about? Shake out the stupidness. And I mean, I'm not gonna talk about our women in Rome, but that's the worst thing to see. That's the worst thing to see. You know? That's the worst thing to see. There was a day and time, and there was a time and day where their women was in a certain position that we may see our women in today that upsets us. And that's being very loose and being undisciplined. You know what I'm talking about? And being somewhat savage. This is red pill. You know what I mean? There was a day and time where that was only a trait of theirs. You know, empires are built off of discipline. Empires are built off of order. You feel me? Empires are built off of mastery. You have to master yourself. You have to master your sciences. You have to master warfare. You have to master even marriage and family, bro. What are you talking about? Like, let's get on our masterful shit, because you're going to be apologizing your whole life and you're going to forget to master your shit. You know what I'm talking about? Master your shit. And if for the people who are not mastering their shit, it's going to show. But you're not going to master me. You niggas are not going to be masters over my reality and tell me that playing, I'm not even going to be graphic. You're just not going to try to master, no, you niggas don't own my masters. I own my masters. I master my reality. I'm the master of my universe. You know what I'm talking about? I'm the master of my universe. You know? And when I see shit and I'm like, that's upside down. Nigga, that's backwards. You understand? That shit don't feel right. You want me to lie to my feelings? Yo, take the juice, take the candy. Nigga, that shit don't feel right. It don't feel right. I don't feel like doing it because it don't feel right. There's something going on. I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to do my independent research. That's something that people don't do. So there's a lot of people who are going off of emotions and going off of the first article that they ran across and whatnot. They're not giving you scientific research. They're not giving you real truth from within. They don't trust within. There's something that's lacking, that they don't have trust with they're not attached to a higher power that's both within and without, in a sense. You got to know who you are. You got to know what you come from. You got to know your strengths. You got to know the strength of your mind. All is mental. Mentally, I'm like, fuck out of here. Everything that y'all trying to tell me, I don't believe it. I don't accept it. It's not my reality. I'm not agreeing to it. I'm not signing off on it. I'm not co-signing it. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not standing next to it. I'm fire burning it. I'm going to give it Babylon. I'm not going to give it the attention that it needs. I'm going to burn that shit. So since the beginning of not this situation, for a very long time, that's what I stand on. Talk about the pandemic I can't even get into that situation too tough because, like I said, we are in a controlled environment, my friends. That means nothing. That takes nothing away from either one of us. But in this controlled environment that we're in, is but so many things that I could talk about. You know what I mean? I've already said what I needed to say. What you niggas want to hear? Pig Latin? because you can't get I can't even give you everything. I can't even talk to you even the way that I want to talk to you. I gotta talk to you. Yeah, they got algae rhythm. It's this niggas out here sweeping and combing all of these lives. You know, so we gotta come up with some pig Latin or something. You know what I'm talking about? When I say the juice, you know what it is. And everything that we said that it was, it we let them people tell you, and the news has come out this week. We've been with saying KT, my bro, KT the arch degree was like when they get the juice, it's gonna mutate into something stronger, and there's going to be what is called shedding taking place. And as you can see, that's what they're saying on the news now. They just said it the other day. But as real as it is as great as it is. I forgot to tell you that part. The fact that shit is crazy, that only means on the other side of that, shit is lit. And it's up. If you could ride the wave, it is up and it's motherfucking stuck. If you could see the silver lining, if you could take control of your mentals, if you could kind of unplug yourself from this matrix a little bit and get into nature. Because I was in nature today thinking about all things natural. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm gonna stick with the natural shit. I'm in nature thinking about all things natural. And I'm like, you know what? I just wanna go with the natural way of life. You understand? I just wanna be natural. You know what I mean? I wanna do things naturally. You know? So, you know, I would just say govern your mental, you know, get in the gym because you need your blood flowing, because depression is real. And if your blood is not flowing, if you ain't in the mirror flexing and shit, and I'm not saying that you gotta be all cut up and chiseled, or for the women, I'm not saying you gotta be all Beyonce'd, you know, but in this warfare that we're in this motherfucking warfare, health is motherfucking wealth. And that's why I stand on what I stand on. Because naturally, and I'm talking to the men, I'm talking to the Roman niggas, what you're doing, if you're naturally doing it, then it's not promoting health. And health is wealth. So I have to have a conversation about abundance. I have to have my conversation has to be wealth laden. You know what I'm talking about? I need to speak wealth into my niggas. So I talk health into them. I talk health into my Roman brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? I'd rather talk health to you. But if you have the shit that you're doing, to me, naturally, that's naturally not healthy. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm gonna just stick with the natural shit. And I'm gonna stay natural. I'm gonna wear my hair natural and I'm gonna do things with natural women. How about that? Because health is wealth. And studies show, right? I'm just using statistics. Studies show that if you keep it natural, my nigga, that you're gonna live longer, happier, healthier, wealthier, and you'll have more to contribute to society. You know what I'm talking about? The ways of our ancestors. I love everybody. I have no malice nowhere towards anybody and their proclivities or their mind state or none of that. And I have to put that on a record because like I said, I'm not shooting at Jerome. I'm shooting at Rome, nigga. Stop standing in the way. Take yourself out of the conversation. I'm really talking about, I'm aiming at the Death Star. I feel like they're putting a spell on our people. I feel like Rome has continued to beat us down and lie to us and hide who we truly are. And as a result of that, we're batshit crazy and we're dysfunctional and we make bad decisions. You know what I'm talking about? It goes back to the decisions that ones make. You can make a decision right now to turn left or right. Adjustment Bureau. You make the wrong turn, it's a wrap. You make the wrong turn, it's a wrap. It's about your decisions that you make. It's about being well informed so you make the right decisions. Because they lied to us and told us that we ain't shit, that we ain't worth nothing, that we didn't come from nothing, that we didn't contribute nothing, that we were the lowest of lowest, that we were the beast of burden, that we don't have no history. They can't find our fucking records. We come from nowhere. You know what I mean? We don't have no mommies and daddies and whatnot. They had us hating ourselves. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. Other people have fared better because they've been lied to and they've accepted the lie. We've been lied to and we've accepted the lie. They took our history, they flipped it around, they took our land, they took our resources, they took our culture. They have ownership through ways of contracts and quote unquote legalese, legal documents and other things that bind us. You know what I mean? They have control of us through copyrights and patents, our culture. But it's our culture. This is our land. Whatever's in it. I was on an Indian trail today. There was lakes. I'm like, this is our land. This is our land to cultivate. Why are we really lying to ourselves? And I'm standing on my land and I have to lie to myself and be like, this is not my land. I'm from a distant land and I don't have no claim to this land. I'm not supposed to ask no questions about why you people all on my land looking at me like, why am I on my land? It don't That's not natural. I'm naturally supposed to be in the forest. Like I could take my clothes off and I will blend into the forest. If a Roman is in the forest and they take their clothes off, nigga, where's Waldo? I could spot you. That's not your environment. Like that. I'm not and then there's nothing to take anything away because they got forests in Europe and there's nothing to say like that. But what I'm saying is naturally those Indian trails, those ancient Native American trails, those parks, those lakes, those mountains, all of that stuff belongs to our family through the estates because of our bloodline. It's paperwork out there somewhere that will give you the rights to that. Those are your estates. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I would felt better if I stepped on any of this land and I see my brother or sisters, you know what I mean, with some feathers in their hair chilling and they're like, yo, come on in. But everywhere that I go, it don't matter if I'm on the East Coast, the West Coast, the South, there's people of a Roman or a European descent who are illegal, who are not, I would say that they were illegal aliens because the treaties have ran out. They was like, y'all could come over here. Oh yeah, them treaties are up. So I see some illegal aliens and I see some amalgamated in people who are descendants of this land. Because you got to remember when it deals with coagulation and then when it deals with the Rosicrucians, they were all about taking the Moor and turning him white. Think Drake and his son, right? Think Drake and his son. Drake is first generation, what they would call mulatto or hybrid or mix. And then he had he had the woman that he procreated with, I believe she's Israeli maybe, and they had a son and the offspring Adonis. You see that how he looks completely European. Look at that when you look at the Europeans that are in America. That's how a lot of that was done. My time is running out though. Peace and love.